Hi guys, it's me Karen and welcome back to my channel. You see in front of you a picture that I am going to be doing today for the Bride of Frankenstein color along. It's a Halloween color along here in October. So I'm going to be doing this picture here, and the artist is it's going to be hard for me to pronounce. Dinsidik, and it'll be in the title of the video. And she'd done this for this color along. So I'm going to go ahead and start coloring this with obviously Bride of Frankenstein here with some pan pastels. This is printed on a 110 cardstock that I use. It's just the cheap stuff that I buy at the store. And I'm going to use the skin tones. I know they look awful, but that's how I use my products. I'll get that open. And I'm going to use this little tool here. Get it cleaned off here. This is the Soft ColorFit LLC softart.com. I'll leave a link to this tool down below. These little things come off. This is the handle, and you just snap them in, and you can get a whole bunch of the little heads here. I don't know what color I have on here, but it kind of looks like I have the same. I'll put a clean one on just for this coloring. So we'll take off the one I have. We'll just stick it over there, and then put this one on. Get to kind of pinch them a little bit, and then they just snap in. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put a light coloring on her. We've got to remember she is the Bride of Frankenstein, so she will have extremely light skin. So we're going to put some color down here. I want to put a light coat on her, kind of all over here. I'm using the Colorless Blender to put a coat on her skin, so I can put the pastel right over it. And I'm going to go over everything because I can use an eraser and get out the color I don't want in certain areas, like her eyelashes. But if you put the Colorless Blender on, everything will go down a lot easier. At least it does for me. Other people may not seem to think so, but yeah, I'm doing the coloring so I can do what I want, right? So yeah, just a coat of that on all over, so the rest of the pastel will glide on top of that. I am just doing her skin right now, so we'll get that all covered. Okay, there's a light coat. Now we have to choose a skin color, and we're going to go with this one first. This is the lightest color in the skin set, and we're going to add some in here. We're going to blend that around pretty good. I got too much of that in her nose here. You can add the Colorless Blender in here also if you want a lighter color. You can blend them together if you like. Put a little darker there. And coming down to the nose about here. So we're going to go over her eye here. This side will be darker. This is the medium, kind of a pinker tone. Her skin is going to be multicolored, I think. It's not all one skin tone. She's got the scars that her face has been kind of cut up in. I know this is not a picture that I usually do, but thought I'd give it a try. I'm going to kind of give her a collarbone area here. I'm going to go right over her outfit because I can erase it. It's a nice thing about the pan pastels. A little in here for darkness. And a little up here. Be a collarbone on this side too somewhere. And then go up her neck, probably in a darker color. So we'll get the other one here and do a darker color. So we'll grab some of the darker brown here. Shadowing back here. And under her neck. Blend it up. Maybe put a little darkness here around her cheek. And her hairline is up here somewhere. Okay. Probably have a little skin over here if this is a tank top type thing. Not sure. Okay, we'll put the other tool back on there. I know it looks really kind of clunky right now. I'm going to add in a little more blending in here. Just kind of blend it up a little bit. Okay, a little darker right in here. play with it until I like the color. I'm going to bring in a brush, and this will take off a lot of the chalk that we just have laying around on top. Okay. We're going to go in with pencil on top of this. I just want a base layer so I know where I'm going with color. Okay. Tap that off. I'm going to have to go down and spray that. So what I'm going to do is give it a light dusting of a workable fixative. And then we will come back and lay some pencil on top. So I'll be right back. Well, before I go down and spray it, I forgot I need to erase some pieces of it. So I'm going to, well, I was going to find my eraser. I've got a couple of them. So we're just going to use a regular little eraser here, and if I have any in her hair, we're going to pull it out because we want her to have black hair and I don't need the pastel there. I don't want it on her shirt, so I'm going to pull it out of that. If we don't want it up in this hair, we just pull some of that out up there too. Want less on her eye or on her eyelashes, we want to take that out. Don't want to make that permanent. Okay. Got any in her little bolt or her little earring here. And I think that's inside of her shirt there. I think I might give her a little bit more of a top there. Okay, so anywhere you don't want the pastels, you have to erase, or it'll be permanent when you spray it, and we don't want that. Okay, there we go. I did want it over here because I'm going to draw a line. I should get out a pencil. I'm trying to find a pencil. Not easy. There's a pencil. Okay. Like on this side here, I'm just going to kind of give her a sleeve. So it kind of matches this side. So we'll erase whatever I have in here. And then if I'm going to give her a little bit more of a top, I'll probably come across this way and then add another line across here and do something in that line. Actually, we could kind of scoop it and make it a lace top under here. That'll work better. Okay, we're just going to erase those lines. Give it some shape over here. I still think we can give it a little more on this side. Something like that. So we don't want any of that pastel in there. Okay, so I'm going to go spray this and then we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and I've pulled out a couple of colors from the Luminance set for skin tones. I have, oh boy, let's try to find one I can read. Burnt Ochre, 50%, Dark Flesh, 40%, titanium, buff titanium. I'll leave all these in the description box below. Burnt ochre, burnt ochre 10%, and whatever this one says, Herculanum red. Wow. Maybe I won't use it. I don't have to say it. So I'm going to start off with the burnt ochre 10%, and the number is 872. I'm going to get a nice little sharpen here because it didn't look too sharp. And we're just going to go over the colors that I put down here. I have to see what color this is, so yeah, that'll work nicely. Hopefully it's not scratching too much. You can tell it's really close to the color that's already down here. Nice and light. I know a lot of people start with the shadows in the darker areas. I tried doing that. My problem is I would get it too dark, and you know, the only way to lighten colored pencils other than adding a white on top of it is to erase it. And if you erase your colored pencils, it does leave a color behind. But of course, when I erase, I have to color the whole thing over again. It kind of seems a little pointless to me. So I'll go with the lightest color first and then bring in the darker tones later. So we're just going to go around and bring some of this color in all over the place. On this side of her face, I erased a little too much. So we have to add a little more in there. I think I want to give her a little tiny tip of a nose here, so we're going to darken this area right in here. Of course, we want to give her a nose nostril, so we'll darken that up a little bit. And we have the little piece that comes down here. We want to darken that. The side of the face we want darker because it's in the shadow. I don't think her stitch line goes all the way down there. Okay. So give her a shadow there, and I don't know, I'm going to have to lift this up. Her earring looks to be a regular earring, so it's not another bolt or anything. So we can leave that plain. And this side of her head up here is going to kind of put some lines into her hair here from the white, and then come down to her hair here. So use that as her guideline for the side of her head. Darken this area up here a little bit. I don't want to make her too dark because she's supposed to kind of look, like I said, put together from being dead or something. I'm really not into horror movies or shows, but I know Frankenstein was put together that way, so I'm assuming she is also. We're going to try to make her look decent, so. And a little up here. Then on one side of her stitching line, we want to make it a little darker. That's going to be an open wound, I guess. Get kind of the shadow mark of that collarbone there. And a shadow that comes down along the shirt. Something like that. I think it should be a little darker up here. There. All right, we're going to bring in, what color was that I used? That was burnt ochre 10%. I know I have a burnt ochre down here. So that was burnt ochre 10%, and I have burnt ochre 50%. So this one will adjust a little bit darker. So doing skin is a lot of layering, which I will be doing. Go on that side of that. I hope you can see all this. Okay. And we're going to darken it down here. Okay, we're going to bring in some of that red color which is more of a like a peachy pink. I want some of that in here too. Gonna pink up her skin a little bit. I probably shouldn't do that, considering. Okay, this is Dark Flesh 40. So in our darkest areas, we're gonna add this. Start darkening up under here. I think her hair is just plain black and white. So add a little of this here. We're going to bring in the buff titanium and blend this up. So I just use it with a little bit more pressure here, and it kind of softens up all those pencil lines. It makes it nice and even. But you kind of have to work with it, so I'm going to have to get down a little closer to this. So we're just going to go over everything. Still wanting to leave some areas of her skin really light. Okay. And like I said, if it's too dark, now would be the time to put in a lighter color. If you want it darker, you can always go in with the darker color also. And you could also use a blender if you want to use a blender on this and get it even smoother. Or you could go back in with the pan pastel and even lay that on top of here if you want. Just whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, so we're just going to continue blending this in. And I may just put in some more color in here too. Okay. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of burnt ochre, plain old burnt ochre. Doesn't have a percentage. And we're going to add that down here under her lip. Bring it up. Okay, because I want to define those a little bit better. Oop, I got a little pointed there. We're going to bring color into them because we want them almost red. But I just wanted to get the lines defined a little better there. Okay. I think she's looking all right. Bring a little of that back here. Up in here. On her eyes. And just get that blended in just a little bit better. Go under here. And then up the edge. Okay, now this may seem a little odd, but we're going to add a little middle verdigris to her skin tone. I know that Frankenstein himself is green. I don't know, you know, because all the pictures I can find of the Frankenstein's bride are either black and white or she's skin toned sepia kind of colors, which doesn't help me much. But I'm going to throw a little green into her skin. I've never kind of done this, and I don't even know what color I'm going to be sticking on here. I just picked a light green, and I want to kind of get a flat edge on the point here so I can just semi-lightly put this in some areas. Okay, I don't want to go too green. So I want her still to look like semi-persony, but I want some green in here. Just going to go over our lightest colors. And just put a hint of green here and there. Turn it a little bit here. Gonna have to blend this back in. Put some over on this side. Like I said, we're just hinting at green. Okay, then we're going to take the buff titanium. I'm going to have to sharpen that. I'm leaving one portion of it nice and flat so we can get up here and blend this in a little bit better. So just with some pressure. You go around and put that on top. Okay. If you want to put more in, you can. I just want a little hint of it. Okay. Probably should put a little bit of it down in here too. Okay. Just gonna take a blender and blend that. This is the Caran d'Ache full blender stick, broken in half. We're just gonna blend that in a little better. Here and there. Besides blending, this is knocking the tooth on this paper completely down, so up here. I think we put a little here too. All right, now we are going to get a darker green. One, I'm not crazy about blood, but there is a trick. My daughter told me. If you don't want to see the blood coming through the scars, you can always add some green, since she's not fully alive. So I'm going to throw some green in the cut line here. I do believe it goes down there. And then she's good here. We're going to go in with a couple of tones of this green. And we'll add a little more of it down here. And a little of that color in these areas too, just to bring it down. Okay, then we're going to bring in, I'm sorry if the camera's moving, pencils aren't exactly close. Grabbing some darker greens, hopefully. Okay, I have a purple for some reason. No, it's sepia. Malachite green and olive brown, which is a green color too. So we'll see which one looks good. This is the olive. It's called olive brown. I think that'll work really good with that brighter green. And mix in with the brown tones that we have in here. So I'm going to get a little closer here and go along those lines. Hopefully you can see. Okay, throw a little of that in here also. We're going to take the sepia. This is sepia 50%. And we're going to go across all her stitches here. So go around, draw it across, go around, and then lightly shade it in. I'm also going to go the side of the green on this side. Okay, get the hint there. We're going to do that, and then we're going to bring in a darker color. These are all, by the way, the Luminance pencils. I'm going to bring in some plain old black. Turn the paper again, sorry. go around and just draw it across. Like that. So we're just going to accent the bottom of all of these. Then we're going to put a skin tone in here and a little white. So we're going to go in on the sides of this with the first color we had. Now it's going to have to be darker. So the Dark Flesh 40. And I'm just going to bring it in next to that and pull it down a little. Both sides. Okay. Then we're going to bring in, I'm going to bring in some Prisma White. To sharpen it to a point, which that is not yet. There we go. I'm using a Dull 133 pencil sharpener. It has this nice little thing that pulls out and fits a lot of different size pencils in it. I'm not going to stick my finger in there, so if your pencil is as big as your pinky, you can get it in there. Take that white on both sides of the green and just lighten that a little bit. Run it across the stitching on the top. Then we use it to blend the skin down a little bit. We want it to look like a scar, not just a piece put together. So some of them will be a little lighter and some of them will be a little darker. But we want that line going up there. Then we're going to bring in the buff titanium and make sure it's blended nicely. Don't want to get into the black like I did there. So we're going to have to use a little bit of an eraser there. Where is my little eraser? Sorry. I love my eraser. I need to clean it, but there we go. We got a little too much black there I want to get rid of. And then if you didn't get it white enough, you can always go through here and tap some white in with the eraser and make it look a little more ooey gooey, depending on how ooey gooey you want to get it. There we go. So it'll be done like that all the way up. Trying to get this done just a little bit quicker for you. Blend that green in. So we'll take the buff titanium up here. Okay, also going to do her hair, and that's not going to be too hard. We're just going to bring in some strokes of the black. Because she has black hair. So just bring in some nice long strokes of hair in here. My printer didn't print so good at the top up here, so this will also cover up all that. do some waves over here. And maybe some waves down here. Try to keep the point on there to get those sharper. We can get some waves in this hair. I've seen a lot of them with wavy hair. I need to put a piece of paper over there. But just add a few in there. Maybe have a few come down here on her ear. And then in the white hair, you can do that with white. Let's see if the Prisma will do this. If we want to come out and put some waves in it, we can do that. Pull some hair out of here, and the same up here, and you can pull it right into the other hair. Okay. And you have white hair coming up here. And you can pull a few of these up in here too. Just wiggle your pencil around. Blend it all up into the black up here. And the stripe, if you want it not to look so stripy, you can either use the black or gray. Hold on. Okay guys, while we were taking a tiny break here, I did go through, got an odd color here, sorry. I went through and I did the green in the lines. If you don't like the green, if you're doing this page, I don't know, you could do that in red, but I just can't go there, so I did the green, and that was a trick that my daughter taught me, saying that if you watch children's cartoons and such like that carry these kind of themes, instead of red blood, you will see the green, and that is just a more pleasing color. So to me, I thought that was a good idea. I don't like gory things, so I mean, she is kind of gory, but we're doing her in green instead. I've pulled out some gray. I did some work up here. I wanted to test it out. We're doing her hair kind of in a little bit more frizzy hairstyle here instead of just straight hair. And I'm going to make another little line here of, so I'm trying to get it to look like it's a wave. So I'll show you how I did this one. I'm going to turn the page around a little bit. We have some colors out here. These are the Derwent Lightfast colors. And we're going to first work with Mist. Now these have names, a Lightfast rating, but they don't have a number, so it's just plain Mist. And we're going to take it at that kind of an angle, so going this way, following that angle, we're just going to come and make these little swiggly lines. And I know they all kind of look the same here, but you just keep going over them. Turn your pencil so you get a sharp edge on one side of this. We're going to turn the page now opposite and bring those little curls, swirly thingies, the opposite way, so you have hair that comes down and hair that goes up. And we'll be going off the page here. You want to remember to bring it in to the black hair too. I'm just going to add a few more over here. We're going to put in a few colors. So the next shade here is Platinum. A little different from the first one. And we're going to put little small ones. Really hard for me to do if I don't turn the page, so I'm going to put them in this way on both of these, and just let your hands swiggle. You don't have to make them perfect. They don't have to go the same direction. They can go both ways. Put a little bit up here in her hair too, because that is also a darker area. Okay, and we want to bring it up in here and over in here, because you're not going to see it much over there. We're going to go in now with the cloud gray, and this is going to be darker still. So you don't want to go as dark as I did there, but we can. We're going to bring some of this in. The pictures I see, she has this kind of wave going through her, and that's kind of what I'm after here. So we're going to pull some of this down here and up here. We're just going to pull it in. Can do darker down on this side. Okay, and you can put this up here in her hair too, so we're going to get all in that area also. We have here the mist. We're going to take that back in here and just add a few of these over the color that we just put down. Okay, and I have white, just plain old white. And because we want this to, I keep forgetting these pencils, maybe I'll take the Prisma white. We want this to come down, so we're going to add some white in here. And then up here at the top, because we want this to look like it's coming downward, we're going to add a little bit of black coming in here. Get a little tiny of it in here just so it breaks that up, but we want it to look like the white is coming down. I need to sharpen this one. Boom, get away. Lightfast don't like to carry on a real tight points, so you got to be careful with that. Go over those just to blend. Okay, so if this came down, this should go up, so you're going to put a little white in here. And then we'll have some white going up in this area. And we can put some more of that gray going up here. Wrong color. Mist, mist, mist. Where are you? Well, we'll put platinum up here. You can get it to go up. Pull the black down in here. Just trying to get it to look like it's a more of a wave of hair. Lighten some of those up. And then we'll darken it coming down here. We'll also have it coming down over here, so we might as well get some of that in there. This will go up into this area. We have to get that going up there a little higher. Okay, so you see how I'm going here. We're trying to get it to come down on one side. Down, 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 and then bring the white down, down, down on these and into this area. Okay, we're going to add some of this coming up here too, and it's just a swiggle. Okay, we have to get white in here too, so you're just going to use that swiggle motion and get the white in here, and we'll add a little gray just so it doesn't look like it's the white paper. And the mist is the lightest color we have, so we're going to go in with that too. Yeah, break the pencil there too. Sorry. So you gotta go both ways, so. Okay, and then go in with the black and make sure you get all the little black swirls. Now, just because I wanted to swirl her hair, and if you're following along in the color, you don't have to do this. I just thought it'd be fun. You can make them big, long, wild, crazy. Whatever you like. And like I did here is I pulled a little of these like down on her forehead, a little on her neck. And you can do it with the gray tones in the gray areas too. So if you want to bring down a mist or a little bit of the platinum, you can bring down some of that. Okay, so you just keep adding until you get her whole head covered in different little swiggles. You can darken some areas with the black if you don't like all the gray up here, but you don't want to just do it all in black. You want to have some kind of highlights in her hair. Add some extra color in do our little swoosh here. Then I'm going to get a piece of paper, if I have one laying around. I don't want to get all this pencil on my desk, so I'm just going to stick it behind here, and then when I pull it off, it'll go on that area instead. And there we go. We're going to put a little of the swiggle up in here, just on this side. Go back through here a little bit with the mist and lighten up some of those areas that came down. Let's see. This one is the cloud gray. So, I think that looks pretty good. Go in very lightly here. Just shadow up some of these areas if you like. Kind of going over the colors, a little bit of the black. If you want to darken up her hair up here, just touch it up a little bit. Still seeing all the little hairs we put in. We're just softening them up a little bit. Gonna have to add a little more color up there in her hair. I'm going to add this into her eyebrows. This is just the black. We're going to add it down in here into her eyes. Eyelashes. Okay. Poof, we got some cool hair to the side of my pencil just to darken that up a little bit. All right. Her hair up here, or her skin line. Do that dark flesh. We're going to go right up into the hairline up here. Just bring it in there and bring it down. That helps that out a little bit. All right. Her lips. We need to get her lips done. We want a dark red. Hold on a minute. Okay, so I picked out 2 colors. It's purple and raisin. So we're going to go down here on her lips with the purple. It's a dark purple. And her upper lip is going to be darker. Because it's in the shadow, you won't see as much lightness in this. Her upper lip will have, our lower lip will have light in it. Yeah. I'm not good at this. We're going to try. We are now using the raisin on top of the purple. Okay, we're going to bring in a little bit of black. This is a Luminance. The other colors were Lightfast. Okay. I'm going to go back in with the raisin here on top of that black. I'm going to bring in a little white. This is the Prisma white. Just kind of blend that color in. And I think I have to darken this area up here a little more. Get a little more of that black in here. I'm going to have to sharpen it because I really need a sharp point there. Okay. Now we have her clothes, which I think I'm going to do in a pastel. And then I have this back here. So hold on a second. Right, we got out this set of pastels here, and I'm going to use this really light blue. Let me see if I can get the paper for that one. I usually keep the sets. Here it is. Okay. This set is the Flower Coloring Kit Susan Garden set. And the color I'm going to use is the Phthalo Blue Tint. And I'm going to use the Colorless Blender with that. So I have to open this other one. I wish I would have opened that off camera. There we go. Let's stick our hands in it and get it all gooey. Colorless Blender. I have a new tip on here. And I'm going to just take some of that Colorless Blender. I think I'll use a sponge for this to blend on here. So we'll just take a whole pile of this Colorless Blender, stick it on this little spongy guy here, just covering it. And then we'll take a little of the blue and mix it in. And then we'll have a very soft blue here. It's going to roll on my pencils. Okay, so we're going to just take this and put it in into the ruffles of her outfit. Take a little of that blue and put it around the edges. Okay, we're going to take the Colorless Blender, just blend that around a little bit. If you want to place a little darker, just go up a little bit and get a little bit of darker blue. This is the, I'll have to look at it. This is either the turquoise shade or the alder blue shade. I will leave the colors in the description box below. Just going to darken it up a little bit. I'm just putting a touch on there. That's all you'll need. And bring it down. I'm just gonna darken the areas where the gray lines are. Same on this side. Go behind here because it's a wrinkle or a behind shadowed area. We're going to come down here and we're just going to attach that to this piece. I'm going to white that out here, so we're just going to bring in a line across here and one across here. Get this area up here. There we go. Just make sure we get the chalk all over all these areas, even if you're just bringing in the colorless blender, because we have to go down and spray this, and I want it to look cohesive. There we go. Okay. There we go. I'm going to go down and spray this, and then I'll be right back. All right, we're all sprayed and put on there. Then take a little white Prisma and see how this does in here. It had a little color on it, didn't it? What color did it have? Darn it, it had red in there. Well, we'll try to get that blood out of there. We're just going to add some folds of the fabric here, especially in this area where I'm trying to delete these lines. So I'll put in a little line here, just coming down here from her neck. Right behind here, right in there. I'm gonna see about this line. I can blur it, so that's good. Okay, put some folds over here. Then I'm going to get a close to blue color pencil. Hopefully. I don't think I have one out here. I don't think we used blue yet. So let's see what we got. Well, I guess that is the blue page. I'm looking at this blue here and this blue here. And these are Luminance pencils. I'm only looking at them because they look kind of similar. I have the pencil case on the side. And since I'm just picking colors, I'm going to kind of see if that one goes. That's good. And is this one darker? Yeah, okay. Oh, well, this one is going to be what is that? Genuine Cobalt Blue. Again, we're just going to cover up our gray lines here. We get it dark here around her neck, so we pull that down a little. Around in here for our shadow, down that line, and where I brought in a curve, and down that line. Down here, and down that way. Okay, we're going to connect these and bring that color up. Okay, then we're going to bring in the lighter color, which is called light blue. And just add that in. What did I do with that piece of paper I had? I don't like coloring on my desk, so boom, piece of paper. Kind of just feather that up and down. And you have to remember the clothing does have a lot of folds in it, so make some spots a little darker and some spots a little lighter, and that adds interest to your clothing. Okay, up the side. Okay, I'm going to bring in the blender stick and just blend those together. Just kind of go in the, what do you call it? Go in the direction of your fold. So if it blends it in and darkens up some areas, that'll help you with your blend line. You're working on a fixative here, so sometimes it doesn't move like it would if it was just on regular paper. And it may just be a little harder to get it to blend. This isn't one coat of fixative. This is 2 coats because we had to spray her face before and her neck with the pastel, so we're working on double the fixative down here. So just be patient with it and you'll get your blend. I think we did pretty good covering up that little gray line. But I'll show you another little thing we can do for that. Okay. Now I usually bring in a little Posca here. I know I have it on my desk. Unless I went and put it away, which is probably something I did. So this is a Posca Pen. It's acrylic paint inside here. It's white. It is a 7mm pin tip type pen. It says right there, pin type 1MR. So that just means that we have a very tiny tip on here. We're going to just kind of go over that line, and there's a one down here. Going to let that sit for a minute, and then we're just going to blur it. And if you need to go over it again, go over it again. I'm going to take some of this white and put it up here. Kind of heavy, and again, let it dry a little bit. And then you can bring it down and smear that out a little bit. Got a bunch of little dooley wots over here. We're going to do the same thing like over here. We'll put a nice blob of it there. Just smear it up. You do have to let it dry a little bit. There we go. So anywhere you want to get a little bit more smoothness, especially after you've sprayed this, you can just go in with a little of that Posca and get a little bit smoother look and a brighter white look from the I don't like how dark that is there. I'll just go over it and then blend that in. Now I wanted to make that look like lace. So there's an easy way of doing that too. Since we've colored all this, instead of drawing a line here, we're just going to go down and put little slashes going this way. Okay, turn it. And you're going to want little slashes going this way. So you get an X here. Okay, so it's already starting to look like it. You want to pick up your X and put a triangle to make the top part look like a diamond. So just make it look like a triangle going upward. Doesn't have to be perfect because it won't be. Put a little dot at the top. Put a little dot down here. That way you connect your little X's. And then we have a little bit of lace. And if you want to, you can put your little dots down here too. You can go down further and you connect this with a line if you like. It all depends on what you want your lace to look like, but that's an easy way of dressing up a little detail on the shirt. So we'll stick one up here too. There we go. Just a little white here. There. Okay, we have little nuts and bolts to fix. Really not sure what her nuts and bolts are supposed to look like, or if she doesn't have one. But I'm going to do them in kind of a gray color, so we're just going to bring in the grays from their hair. This is the cloud gray, so the darkest. Just around the edge. That middle spot should be left open. That's where you put the screwdriver. The platinum. And then the mist. There you go. Stick a little white. Make sure we don't have any other color in there. Right in there. And highlights. All right. Because I don't like not having 3 of that, we're going to do our earring the same way, kind of. So that is the platinum. Put a little mist on this side. And a little bit of the cloud gray underneath there. So it kind of matches. All right. We're also going to take a tiny bit of a light, we're going to do the aqua. We're just going to touch this lace a little bit, especially down here on the shirt side, just to make it so it's not so bright white and standing out. So just very lightly going over it. Okay, we'll put a little of that in the shirt there too, just to blend that out. There we go. Okay, so what we have left is the mandala, or the background is what I call it. And I'm going to get out some distress ink and we'll finish this page up. Okay, so hold on. All right, we have a light blue, which is kind of like her shirt color, which is called Broken China. And what I'm going to do is make sure that this little teeny tiny detail dude is going to be blue. I have to go around her face here, and don't know how well I got those colors done, so I'm going to go on these first 2 and put in the blue. I think there's a little of it right in there, so we'll go around her nose. We'll kind of blend it up here. I'll go in with pencils to get this any other color, but right now we're just going to start with this. It's had a little brown in it, so it should go nicely with her skin tone. Okay, and we have a darker blue. This is called Stormy Skies, and we're just going to add it in around the shoulder. I'll probably just darken this right here with that. Blend it up a little bit. Darken these up. go out here and darken whatever these are. Okay. Because we're Frankensteining it, I'm going to throw a little purple in here. So like these, whatever they are. What are they? Fluffles. This is coming off. Get you back on there, right? Fluffle parts here are going to be purple. And then we'll just add some purple on those. Okay. Go out, and now since I'm out here in the boonies, I'm going to go ahead and use a bigger tool. Turn it. So I have blue on one side and purple on the other. We're just going to go out here and throw some purple down. Go across her outfit here. Okay. I guess we have to put some color over here in this corner too, so we'll throw some purple over there. Goes nice against the blue. Okay. We're just going to take in some of this broken china. Brighten some of these areas up here. And then we're going to add in, I think we can get some right here. Nice bright blue. Bet we can pull some of that down into her shirt too. Just so it looks a little more cohesive there. Bring it right on top of that lace a little bit. There we go. And we're going to take in some of the stormy sky here. And we're going to darken up some areas. When you're working with distress ink, you want to do light layers. You do not want to just pounce your thing down. You'll get little circles all over the place. I'm going to have to bring in some brighter purple. So let it dry, go over it again, let it dry, go over it again. If you have lines, put a little bit more ink on this and just lightly go over it. So if you push it down, you'll get that light circle like that, just putting it down. You want to move in a light motion like this and just keep going and going. Put a little more pressure on it. If you want to get rid of that circle there, you just get more ink and put it on and make it thicker. Darker, it'll cover it up. Of course, I spray it with water, so some of that goes away anyway. We're just going to go in and grab some more of that purple, dot it in here, make it nice and dark. Get a little closer there. Now there's a couple of layers of this ink on here. So it's going to be easy to manipulate a little bit of this. Blend it in. I want it darker. There. Okay, we're going to spray this. This is a Tim Holtz sprayer. It's just filled with water. If you do it very slowly, it'll spit out a little water at a time in splots. Then you just pick it up off the paper. Okay. Get it over here too because you have it. We don't really want to get it on her outfit because we spent time doing that, but we want to get a nice effect back here. Can still see the mandala. It has some color to it, but it is not a focal point. But it's there, giving her accents. And I'm thinking that's pretty good. I'm going to throw a little of this Distress ink in her eye color too. Oh yeah, here I'm going to get really creative. I love ink. I'm going to put a little Stormy Sky. I just have it on the corner here, and I'm just going to touch her eye and bring it in a little bit. It's just a tiny bit of color. Both eyes need it, so got hair on there, sorry. There we go. Cool. All right. The only other thing I want to do is add a little bit of paint sparkle to this page. I'm going to move all this stuff out of my way. I'm going to bring in some paint. This is just your regular, any kind of white acrylic paint will work. So you don't have to have this particular brand. I just buy big bottles of this stuff. You put a little dab, and I mean a little dab, you don't need much, on your paper, and then you get the paintbrush. On the little blob of paint here, we want to add a little water. I just use the same water bottle all the time. So splatter that in. This is my paintbrush I use. It has long bristles on it, and we just mix that in with the water base. Okay, and then we're going to tap the brush, and it gets down these little splatters just like that. Now, what I have to do, since I don't want splatters all over her face, is just take a piece of paper, take the one behind here, and her face is, I'm already covered, is kind of, oh, that shape, we're just going to say. So we're going to cover her, maybe if I turn the paper over, there we go. Her face and her hair, but we're going to leave this open down here and up here. Okay, just lay it there, it's going to be fine for right now. So get this all nice and mixed, and then we're just going to tap it. Can get in her hair, that's fine. Down here on her outfit. The more watered down you have, the tinier drops you get. If you want it a little thicker, put more paint on your brush. It all depends. You've got to play with this a little bit. It's not an exact science because you're just splatting paint. So if you need more control than this offers, this may not be something you want to do. And it's a mess. Okay, it gets all over your desk. Which is fine as long as you clean it up really quick, because the acrylic paint will dry. I don't usually do this with my phone down so low, but there we go. We're going to remove that a little so we can get some splats over here. We have a few on her face, that's okay, and I think I touched it over there. Okay, we need to get more water on here. There we go. Just until you're ready to quit. What I usually do is go, I'll stop for a second, walk away, and if it needs a little more, I'll come back. But I have to clean my desk every time I do it, so we're just gonna go here. If you get it someplace you don't like there's a big blob on her cheek, if I don't like that, wait till it dries, and then you can wipe it off or scratch it out. It comes out that easy. It's a bubble right now, so we're gonna pop it. But I mean, it doesn't look awful if it's a little bit on her face. I just didn't want it covering like it does with all of the other parts of the paper. So, yeah, that's basically it. I had fun with this one. Like I said, down in the description box below will be all the information on what colors I used, what pan pastel sets I've used, and any other things that I've used in this. I hope I will remember to put all that in there. At the end of the video, I will take a picture of her completed and dry. So if I don't want that one, I'll scratch it out. It all depends on how she dries, because some of these will dry lighter and some of them will dry darker. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a lot of fun. So I hope you will follow along with the rest of the color along, and I will see you in another video possibly. Take care, everyone. Bye now.